I'm gonna start talking. There's nobody gonna be on here this early in the morning. So good morning. By the time some of y'all see it, good afternoon and good evening. Well, it's not much of a recap for the weekend because I did not do any Uber Eats yesterday on Sunday, and Saturday I did Uber Eats, but I only did it for like I want to say maybe 3 hours. Nothing, nothing big or monumental about it, and pretty much made about what $30 for the day. It was like 20 something dollars, $28, 29. Didn't really do much of anything. When I think about it, pretty much relaxed. You know, watch television. Didn't do a whole bunch of things because just needed a break. Now I don't know what I need a break from because it wasn't as if I had worked so hard during the week, considering that this is the end of my third week at this place, and still haven't been able to do any kind of work. Still not logged onto the systems, the typical whatever. But continue to pay for doing nothing, then that's how it's going to be. As y'all saw in my previous live stream during the day last week when I was in the car, we'll see what today brings. And pretty much, I'm not going to really say much of anything today. I'm coming to work. I'll be there in the next few minutes. Be there pretty much a little bit early. Supposed to be there at 6. But the way I feel, people could come in there whenever they want, do whatever they want. Don't seem to be no kind of accountability. So I'm not going to be fretting about being there. I'm always going to be on time anyway, I don't like being anywhere late. I don't like going to work late. If you ever hear me say I'm late for work, trust me, it had to be um, something catastrophic might have happened for me to come to work late. And I mean something like major traffic, or I woke up extremely late because I went to bed late. And when I mean late, I'm talking about unless I went to bed at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then have to get up at 4 a.m. or at least 4:15, the latest, then that's the only way I'm gonna ever be late. Especially working this close. I don't work too far from where I live. It's about 20. Well, depends. It's like 23-minute, 25-minute drive, and that's taking the back road. That's taking the streets. So that's not even that. But I can take the back way. It's about the same distance almost. And two, at a certain point, getting on 285, that's when it starts to be volume and traffic. Now, I used to take 78, 285 when I used to go to work to the IRS. But leaving the house. It's not that bad, to be honest, but I don't know. But anywho, I ended the week with Uber Eats making about $80, and that was only 7 hours. I didn't do a lot of hours. When you work, I figured this. The average income per hour, and that's not just Uber Eats. It's really all of them. It's either going to be about $10 to $13 per hour, maybe 15 if you get a good number of good tips. But other than that, it's not really a whole lot of money. So the fact that I have to make a monthly goal, total income wise, between my regular 9 to 5, or in this case, my schedule 6 to 2:30 for now, I have to be making about 300. I have to make about 300 a week, maybe 350 a week. So I haven't really put myself to work any long hours after work. I mean, I get off at 2:30, and yes, I could probably turn on the Uber Eats app, and you're not gonna really get a whole lot of orders, especially when lunch is over. Between lunch, 11 to 2, and then being in that area, like business area, like Buckhead and Peachtree Corners, where a lot of people will order Uber Eats. I really can't do that during that time. Now, considering the fact that we've been sitting around all day doing nothing, watching people, that's not even anything about it. OJI, or whatever you want to call it, it's not really something they plan to do. That's something like I said, let me go ahead and watch this person. But other than that, you could sit down there all day and do nothing, and they just don't seem to care. So you know what? If that's their attitude about it, then so be it. You're gonna pay me $12 an hour to sit there, then I'm gonna sit there. They do it today, so be it. I'm just gonna look at it like that, and that's it. I'm not gonna I just don't care. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna complain if they don't. They can't seem to have us on board. And then the way I look at it, if there's no work to be done and there's a lot of downtime, then I'm gonna sit time. Then there's a lot of downtime. The only thing about it is the only bad thing about it is that you can't have a cell phone on the production floor, and you cannot bring no paper and no pen. You can't bring none of those stuff. No book, no nothing. Otherwise, if you was allowed to bring those type of things, trust me, it would have made life a whole lot better or simpler. But to be honest with you, there's a lot of things that I feel that they could have done, and I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out because the way how the job market is really not that good. I mean, between competing against so-called millennials and a lot of jobs that I've used to have done for so long in customer service, it's becoming obsolete. It's already becoming um, it's becoming obsolete. And then when they pay, the pay is not that great. And this is in Atlanta. You know, if one is thinking about moving to Atlanta, don't even bother. It's too many people. It's very expensive to live, and it's going to be way more expensive. Just recently, just this morning when I was watching the news, they was talking about it was like a shortage of home buyers. It was like, right now, if I were to put my house on the market as is, someone will snatch it up real quick. They were saying that there was the inventory of houses is a shortage, and a lot of people are not selling. They're either going to stay in their house for another 5 years, or they're just not going to sell. Because number one, you're gonna have to have a place to live. You're gonna have a place to stay, for one thing. And what I pay in a mortgage is way more cheaper than what the rent's gonna be, especially for a 4 bedroom, three and a half bath. I mean, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath. And then you ain't gonna find nothing in Atlanta like a house for that price unless you living in the damn real, hood. And I mean living somewhere like nobody don't want to live there. Section 8 or whatever. And then even then living in that type of environment is not going to be great. But you can't tell nobody that, because it was this one person she was talking about. They live in Atlanta. They from Atlanta, lived in Atlanta all their lives. And people who live in Atlanta, they lived in areas like Decatur and the Fourth Ward and other areas that's become gentrified. Um, they moved. They've been moved out of those neighborhoods, and some of them are holding on to the very um, last whim to stay in those houses. So a lot of people have family that lives in these old houses that's ready to be gentrified, but for whatever reason, either they have to pay high taxes, high um, either high taxes and high income taxes, property taxes, which is not that much when you think about it, but when you don't have a job, good morning, whoever's on here. See, when you don't have a job, or you at a point in your life, like if you're an elderly person and you're not working anymore, and whatever your source of income is at the time, especially if you didn't prepare for retirement, they're holding on to these old houses and living in them, not fixing them up, not upkeeping them. And then, of course, if they have any children, you know, these millennials, they don't know the hell about paying taxes properly or understanding about finances, but they move out of their mama house. I'm in my mama house and living in apartments. They realizing that they're getting pushed out of areas that they are used to, accustomed to living. You know, or some of them don't even take on a responsibility of the property where their parents lived for years, and they let it go. They said, I don't want to live over here no more. So they figured, let's move south of the airport. May move way out in the outskirts, in the suburbs, but they leave the houses that they used to live and grew up in town, and then white folks snatch it up. Or I ain't gonna say white folks because it's not always white folks, but foreign investors or people who buy up these properties and later on flip them, they can't even afford to live in the neighborhoods they grew up in, and they lose the property that they lived in. They don't invest in the communities because the way they see it is they were appreciative on the property they got, because back in the day, Decatur and the Fourth Ward, just like any other major city across the United States, it was hell to live in. Crime, you know, um, desert food stores or whatever they call it, no adequate, you know, grocery stores. The school system sucks in Atlanta and DeKalb and Clayton County. It's just not, it's just not there anymore. Now, I know that this topic went way off of left field from my initial recap of the weekend, but I didn't have much of a weekend in regards to the ride sharing gigs. Didn't do much, so like I said. But I was thinking about a lot of different things over the weekend. And like I said, it's just a matter of planning. So in my planning over the weekend, I said to myself that I'm going to continue to do these ride sharing gigs, and I'm going to also really seriously start thinking about moving out of Atlanta. Really seriously, people think about moving. I've been talking about this for the last couple of years, and to me, the one thing that kept me as long as I lived in Atlanta was because I had a house. I said, "Oh, I got a house. What am I going to do with the house?" Blah blah blah. But I got some things I need to take care of in regards to that house. But once I get caught up, particularly with the homeowner association, the HOA, then pretty much I'm thinking about seriously looking into renting it. I'm going to contact a real estate agent just to kind of get an idea of how much how much can I really get in regards to the market that I'm in, and do it before there's any type of collapse, for sure. And like I said, I have options, but I'm not going to buy another house. I know that for sure. I'm not going to buy another home. I'm going to pay off this home as quickly as I can and really look at this ride share and put as much effort in it this week. So I'm going to make an announcement later on this evening. And as you can see, I'm wearing the Instacart shirt, not because I'm doing Instacart, because I'm not. I'm just wearing the shirt because I was like, dang, I just don't have any clothes to wear anymore. So that's why I'm wearing it. But anywho, let me go. Y'all have a nice one. And I'll talk to y'all later.